Well, thanks for staying with us here on Morning Live. Now, the Trek4Mandela team, which embarked again on a journey to summit Mount Kilimanjaro, has returned home. The 40 hikers left last week in hopes of beating the gruelling trip to reach Africa's highest peak on Mandela Day, the 18th of July. Now, the expedition brings together individuals from a variety of backgrounds to assist in raising funds and creating awareness for the Caring for Girls program, which aims to keep girl children in school and in school during their menstruation cycles especially. SABC's reporter Gillian Pillay was part of that group, and she joins us in studio now. Jambo Rafiki, welcome home.
Jumbo.
So I was very worried last week because we spoke to you before you left, and then last week got some messages from you during the show on Thursday that there were some problems and people unfortunately had to be taken down the hill and to hospital. But this is because you dared to try that double summit. But tell us what happened, what transpired since you left here.
You know, it's been very hard. We knew it was going to be hard. One, because we've done it before. So somehow when you know too much, it's also not a good thing. So we knew that this time round, logistically, we would struggle to get our stories through, which happened. But also the actual climb itself was really, really grueling. This was one of the hardest ones I've done. This was my third time. It was Thabo Madiola's second time. It was absolutely difficult. Mountain sickness hit me, I think 4 hours in. And even if you drink water and you eat, it intensifies that feeling. That feeling never goes away. Then you're hit by headaches. All around us, people were vomiting. People were falling asleep on the first stop, because we stop all the time to catch a snack, to have we call it a diamox break, to take a wee, to eat something, just to replenish. People were falling asleep on the first stop already. People were ill. It was like a battlefield of people were just ill all over the place. And that's why half of us, people made it to various points. Some made it to Gilman's Point, which is the first point, a bit further, which is about 2 hours away. Then that's still a point. A lot of people made it to those 2 points, and half made it to Uhuru. Half of 46 made it to Uhuru. So that tells you a story of how grueling, of how difficult it was. But 3 people actually pulled me, and I say figuratively, back to life. Kirk Buffard from the US.
Who was with you?
Paige Lindenberg, Werner Gruner. Those people literally fed me back into a state of being able to get up that mountain. But everyone helped one another. There are stories of how porters gave up their water to climbers so that they could make it. Porters carrying our backpacks, and they're carrying 5 backpacks already. The scenes were, you know, it's unbelievable what happened during those wee hours of the morning into Mandeba's birthday.
What happened this time around, Gillian? What was different? Because, as you said, for many of you, this was not your first summit. Yeah. So what happened? What was different?
You know, Sakina, we trained as much as we could. We even tried an alternative means of training using innovation masks. It is more than anything, it's a mind game. If you can conquer your mind, then you can get out there to Uhuru. But I think a different set of conditions. Every climb is different. There's no climb that will be the same like it was 2 years ago or a year ago. This year, this is how it affected us. And it's conditions. It's probably that Thabo Madiola and I went into there fatigued. You know the previous stories we ran a week before leaving, drumming up support. So while other people were sitting in the dining hall on the mountain, eating, we were sitting out in the cold, sending our stories through. It took us 2 hours to send one story through, Sakina. There was no connectivity. And we would not rest until the stories made it through to headquarters. So that fed into our overall fatigue. We dragged ourselves to Uhuru. We met people along the way who would say, 10 more minutes, just over that ridge. You literally were, that's where your faith actually came in, you know, carrying you to that point, to the highest peak in Africa, reciting those prayers, just remembering why you're doing it and why you need to get out there.
I'll tell you what, Gillian, it really is so heartbreaking listening to you here, and I can feel, you know, the emotion in your voice, because it is, of course, for a good cause. And speaking of that good cause, how did it go? How did you manage in that regard?
We decided not to double summit. Thabo and I we got to the first point and we said we're not double summiting. If we had double summited, it would have ended in a fatality, and we weren't prepared to do that. Remember, we said health first, life first, and we feel that we have accomplished what we had set out to do, bringing those stories to the fore, getting the nation to, to pledge towards whatever they can. And it's an ongoing campaign, Sakina. It doesn't end here. You just told me now you want to bet with Leanne Manners, and you got another 100 Rand there for us. And that means, guess what? More sanitary pads. And that initiative with SAFM, our sister channel, those are the kinds of things that will, we will continue to break the back of this burden against the African girl child.
And it is, of course, a wonderful, wonderful initiative. And Gillian, all I can say is, my greatest admiration to you and Thabo and everybody else for doing this, literally putting your lives on the line and risking it all just so as to make a difference in the lives of young people and young women in particular. And this drive for sanitary towels, that's what the Trek4Mandela team has been doing this in aid of. And they don't want your money. They simply want you to buy the sanitary towels, and then we'll find a way to collect all of it and then deliver it to where it is most needed. Gillian, thank you so much for coming through. And that's our Trek4Mandela team member, Gillian Pillay, reporter here at SABC, telling us how difficult this last summit was. Well,